This strategy will destroy the turtling meta. Stay tuned for the epic strategy reveal. Welcome to the Risk Forever channel, guys. The channel which shares the most relevant tips and tricks on how to win at Risk and improve your rank in no time. Subscribe to the channel and you won't even see how fast you will become so much better at Risk. Push that notification bell to see new videos first. This is your host Champion Ever. And today we're playing another 6-player fixed card game which is being played on the classic Risk map with blizzards, which don't seem to be very impactful this time. Basically the South American and African players will just have to capture one territory fewer each. Well, the Asian blizzard minimizes Asian borders by 1, but if somebody takes over Asia, then they usually use Ukraine as a single border instead of Afghanistan and Ural as separate borders anyway, so in large scale of things it doesn't make much difference. I'm the red, the 5th player in this game, and I consider to be either going for Australia or Europe. Usually Australia is the most wanted continent, so I thought I might add my troops into Europe, and potentially risk the white player deciding to go for the same exact continent, as he doesn't seem to have another good continent option. But what I saw is that the green player didn't add any of his troops into Australia, and then the purple player, who is my ally now by the way, didn't proceed to do it either. He added his troops into North America, and even suggested that I would move out my troops from Indonesia, so he would have a territory to attack and could waste his Australian troops, and then eventually even move out. So obviously I wasn't going to go for Europe anymore when nobody goes for Australia. And the purple player has made a very great first impression for sure. I'm looking forward to being a strong alliance with him. Then the white player sent me an alliance request as well, so obviously I accepted it, because why not? The more allies I have, the better I am off the diplomacy-wise. And then when it comes to all other players, I haven't sent any alliance requests to them, because going for Australia I will only have one border to guard and other players shouldn't cause me any issues when it comes to holding it. Then in comparison the purple and white players will have to guard 3 and 4 borders respectively, so in their case, I wouldn't be surprised if besides me, they sent alliance requests to absolutely everyone, especially the white player, because Europe is the second most vulnerable continent after Asia. But let's be honest, champions, nobody will ever let you hold Asia. At least not in a 6-player situation, right? Anyway, as you can see the green player has already raised the white flag and surrendered the game, meaning he took the last available place, which in this case is the 6th place. That's very weird. He quit immediately in the game, but that could be possible that he got the disconnection bug which has been happening very frequently lately. Or maybe he just saw that he won't be able to get any continent easily, so just decided to give up. But don't get me wrong, either way is good for us. This game is ranked, so at the very least I and all other players are guaranteed to get the 5th place at the very minimum. And the best thing about all of that is that the green disconnected player doesn't even have to be eliminated from the game. He's got the 6th place and will stay at a neutral state during the entire game. Right here I decided to capture 2 territories instead of 1, so in order to help out the purple player to capture North America. The purple player was nice to move out from Australia, so I'm repaying him back, and hopefully we will be in a very strong alliance, able to do something significant later on in the game. Or maybe it was just it, maybe we've just helped each other out by moving out from one another's continents, and right here we might just be neutral towards each other players and that's it. The time will tell. To do something together isn't a priority right now for us anyway. First of all we have to get and establish strong positions for ourselves. Also I moved out from Europe in order to help out the white player to take over Europe. I wasn't in rush though, because first of all I had to prioritize making the fortification choices which would help out the purple player move out from Australia, so I would be able to get Australia wasting quite fewer troops. And then ideally, I didn't want the white player taking over Europe fastly, because Europe is a big continent, and the white player would have become the strongest and the most influential player quite fast. And what's the difference in the purple player's case, is that the purple genuinely showed that he would like to be a great ally, while the alliance with the white player has been very neutral so far. We haven't communicated much. If the purple player gets strong, that might be likely that he will go after other players over me. And if the white player gets strong, then I don't know, it's really unknown. It could be possible that she made alliances with everyone, so doesn't have any personal attachment to me. The purple player might have sent alliance requests to everyone as well, but he showed me some gratitude and appreciation. Then neither I nor the blue and black players sent alliance requests to one another, but I don't really care. The black player has been playing very conservatively so far, well other than targeting the green player's territories who already became a bot and got the last available place because there's a white flag on his avatar. And I'm not sure if I'd be able to do much with the blue player at the current moment either. I'm fine with him holding South America, and looking forward to see if he initiates any conflicts by himself. Surprisingly, it took a long time for him to finally take over South America. Why? You might ask. I think the answer to that is that he thought that the green bot is a real player in the game. Which makes me think that the blue player might be a lower ranked player in this game. Which is good, because now I know which player I'd prioritize keeping in the endgame for an easier victory. Yeah, with the blue player crushing 7 troops of the green bot for some reason, and then not even moving out from Africa, which is basically asking the black player to get his 6 North African troops crushed. Now I can definitely say that the blue player is the least experienced player in this game. And so far, other players didn't show any moves which would indicate that they would be less experienced to the game players. I like it because there's a possibility that we might have a greater game in general, over just my opponents getting into conflicts with each other fast and over destroying each other easily, but at the same time it could be possible that the game will just be in a more passive state, which could possibly leave in a stalemating case if nothing's done. But I hope that won't be the case here. Also, I only now noticed that I actually accidentally traded in a 4-troop set low. I had a wild card and I used it along with 2 soldiers. I'm probably the only person who would use the wild card to trade in a freaking 4-troop set, guys. Lol. That's ridiculously hilarious, isn't it? Well, I guess I subconsciously did it because I wanted +2 extra troops on Japan. That must be the reason why, right? And OMG guys. I cannot believe that I traded in a 4-troop set, lol. Anyway, it looks like all of us got continents besides black. I'm not sure what he's waiting for actually. Well, maybe he's just waiting for the blue player to move out, but still I don't know why he prioritized capturing territories in Asia, rather than in Africa. Well, now it's a bit too late. The blue player fortified his troops from Brazil to North Africa, and clearly shows that he won't let the black player taking over Africa. If the black player wants to take over Africa, then he will have to waste a lot of troops on blue, which could possibly lead to both of those players getting eliminated from the game. So poor, very poor player called black, right here. Most likely he will have to stay without any continent at all, and who knows, maybe the blue player will even intend to eliminate him from the game once the blue player gets large enough army. Though that wouldn't be that smart, of course. One thing I don't like about this game is that the purple player is getting away holding North America despite not guarding any borders. Well, he's putting a counter-attack army 1 territory behind the blue player's border, which is indirect threat, so it makes sense that the blue player wouldn't dare to break through the purple player's border. Then the purple player was a very great ally to me in the beginning of the game, so I didn't break through him either. I appreciate him working with me. And also now I know if I start a conflict with the purple player, then it will highly improve the white player's chances to win. And if I became too weak, that's even a possibility that the black player could eliminate me for Australia. And then basically I was as strong as the purple player during the entire game, and it's better not to start a conflict with someone if you know that they could properly retaliate or even suicide on you. Then obviously the white player doesn't start a conflict with the purple player for the same exact reasons as me, and in the white player's case she knows that she even has to guard 4 borders. And when it comes to the black player, he's fine without any continent at all, let alone attacking somebody. And basically in this case it isn't profitable for any of us to attack each other. So how this game will go for now, you might ask? Well, if the small continent players let big continent players get their continents in the beginning of game, and if the big continent players are being fine with each other holding continents, then later on, the big continent players, once they get a more significant troop lead, might actually do something, or might not. As again, any attacks wouldn't be profitable, they would just be for the sake of progressing the game. Though I'm still waiting for the blue player to do something not very smart. Whether it would be breaking through the purple player's continent, eliminating the black player from the game, or even suddenly breaking through one of the white player's well-guarded borders. Of course ideally I'd like to keep the blue player for as long as possible, because despite him probably being the easiest player to defeat in the endgame, he would also be most likely to get into conflicts with other players, and with me being the player who is most far away from him, and at the same time having one border continent, I believe he would be the least threat to me. He would consider targeting all of other players besides getting to me, so unless he takes an alliance very seriously with one of those players, I don't know, he might be chill about the purple player, though basically the blue player tries to make both of his armies equal more or less. The purple player doesn't seem to trust the blue player as much though. There's a counterattack army in North America for a reason behind the blue player's border. The purple player definitely trusts me and white player more. Well, at the very least when it came to the beginning of the game. Now the purple player actually started building a big army on the Asian border, which is the closest to me. So I could possibly interpret it as he trusts me the least now, while forgot about the blue player for now, and isn't being worried about the white player at all since he neither puts any troops on the white player's border nor builds a counterattack army behind it. But that's only the observation at first sight. Because with the purple player building a big army in Asia, he's actually accessible to reach all of the player with it, whether it would be me, white, black or blue. It's indirectly threatening army to retaliate to the white player at any time. While if the purple player put troops on the white player's border, then it would show a direct threat for the white player and she might start strengthening that border a lot as well. But all in all, I do not take anything for granted, and keep observing the situation on the board. Also I see the black and white players came up with an interesting strategy over here, champions. The white player has stopped capturing territories in Africa and the black player put a larger amount of troops in Middle East. So basically the blue player was forced to break through the purple player's North America, which he did. So what a sneaky but hilarious in a good way strategy by them. I really appreciate and admire their creativity. Now basically the blue player will be forced to go into a conflict with others if he still wants to keep receiving cards. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he gets eliminated soon. I think the purple player is ready to take him out now. Also 69 troops low. The purple player knows how to fortify troops well. This game is going to be hilarious, guys, I can tell you already. I like these players a lot. So just the question is what the blue player will do now. Will he smack his troops into the purple player because the purple player is technically threatening him, even though he probably only fortified those troops next to the blue player, so that the blue player wouldn't be able to break through him once again? Then if not, then will the blue player break through the white player's border having to crush 25 troops? It wouldn't be worth it at all, but sometimes less experienced players do so I wouldn't be surprised. Then if not, would he consider crushing the black player's army in Middle East if he gets enough troops for that? Or would just the blue player simply skip a card in this situation? This is where the question is, guys. Okay, he just skips a card, so nothing exciting for now. But will the purple player pull the trigger himself? Will he break through the blue player's border? Of course I'd prefer keep having the blue player in the game over any other player, but if other players don't get into a conflict with each other, then let it be the blue player the one who gets eliminated. Oh well, oh well. The purple player back out though. So we will still have to wait for something interesting to happen. At the very least I hope the black and white players continue card blocking the blue player, as this way he will be forced to keep breaking through the purple player if the purple player doesn't guard his border. I believe less experienced players are not as much intimidated to break through unguarded continent like more experienced ranked players in this situation would. So I think the blue player will just continue breaking through the purple player, so for as long as the purple player allows so. Let's see if the blue player fortifies his army back. And yes, he does. Lucky for the purple player because he could have been in the black player's shoes lol. And OMG guys. I cannot believe that the purple player crushed the blue player's army, lol. I didn't see that coming, at all. Well, actually it was expected, so I just thought it would have been done by the black player in the beginning of the game. But yeah, I certainly appreciate the purple player progressing the game. It wasn't profitable, and he didn't get any troop advantage out of that. But on the other hand still, maybe it's a very great move for the purple player himself anyway, even though it might not look like it at first sight. What I mean is that the purple player got to crush the blue player's army first and with that take the attacker's advantage for himself, even 17 troops in this case, rather than it happening the other way around. Who knows, maybe the blue player would have fortified his 25-troop army from North Africa too and been ready to suicide on him. So well played by the purple player for sure. Also I really like him not taking over South America. If he had done so, then I think it would have highly increased the chances of the white player breaking through him. But right here the white player didn't do anything. With the white player starting to guard the border with the purple player as equally as other borders, I thought she might be ready to betray the purple player once the purple player smacks the blue player's troops. But unfortunately that didn't happen. Well, the purple player can still take over South America if he wants. The black player didn't crush the blue player's army before, so I don't think he would take down those troops now either. So basically if the purple player additionally took over South America, then he could guard both of the Americas under only 2 borders to guard, which are Alaska and Greenland, if we count the blue player who I think bought it out as a shield. But this is what I would like to see happening actually. It would certainly bring all other players' attention on him, even if they continued playing passively. Though I don't think the white player is a type of a player to go into a conflict with another player suddenly. I think that I and the white player are using the same strategy of just continue waiting till we get some better opportunities to do something. The black player's strategy seems to be the same as well. And after all the purple player is doing the same as well. So the difference is that the purple player was building his army as a counter-attack army inside his continent. Then myself, basically I put my troops in a one large army and avoid to lock it, so it always be unleashed to attack if I get a good opportunity to take the game into my hands. And then the white player splits her troops into 4 different armies to protect each of the border properly. And then finally the black player splits his troops into 2 bigger armies. We distribute our troops differently, but honestly more or less we have the same exact game plan. Those are smart players I am playing with, and I'm not sure how this game will continue to go, but at the very least, I'm happy to not be the weakest player in this game. Soon it will be 10 minutes after the blue player left the game, so he will go MIA and will take the last available place. And then if either white or purple wants to take somebody out to get into a 3-player situation, then most likely they would go after the weakest player, who in this situation is the black player if we disregard the blue bot, so I don't like the black player's situation as much. Also you might have noticed that I started capturing territories in the left side of Asia, the ones the white and black players capture, instead of capturing the territories of the purple player, like I used to back and forth. This is because I want that his biggest army would become locked and wouldn't be as much threatening to me. Usually if the North American player builds a large army on Kamchatka, he does that because he doesn't trust the Australian player, who in this case is me, or even intends taking him out. Though me and the purple player showed a great diplomacy towards each other in the beginning of the game, so that might not be the case. Even though I feel threatened, especially since I and the purple player stopped communicating with each other, I still for the most part think that the purple builds a big army in Kamchatka just to be accessible to attack any player on the board, and that's it. Though I do not deny the possibility of him having thoughts of taking me out if he gets the opportunity. But looking at the troop counter, I see that he's basically as strong as me, so if he took me out, then he would lose the game. So as long as he plays to win, that shouldn't be a threat, guys, but you can never know. Eventually if he wanted to eliminate someone to get into a 3-player situation, then he would eliminate the black player from the game. Though if he doesn't additionally take over South America, then I don't think he would ever eliminate black, because the purple player would always be weaker than the white player is. And to eliminate another player while not being the strongest player would be very risky. Let's theoretically assume other players go into a conflict, lose a bunch of troops but then stop fighting, I become the strongest player in the game, and the question would be which player it would be the best to eliminate for me the diplomacy-wise. The purple player has been the most friendly player to me, but that was more in the beginning of the game. I'm not sure where our alliance stands now. But still he's the player who I like the most in this game. Then in the second place I would put the white player. While we're officially allies, we are certainly no more than that. We have never sent each other either an attack request or an emoji such as a heart, thumbs up or thumbs down. Oh, and also make sure to like this video, guys. And then the black player is the player who I the least attached to. We are not even allies. But even if I made an alliance with him, he would still stay as a neutral player as the white player is. So nobody can top the purple player in this situation, so as long as he doesn't intend to suicide on me, but let's assume that's not the case. So the choice is between the white and black players if I had to eliminate one of them. Both white and black are pretty passive, but the black player didn't even manage to get a continent at any point of this game, which indicates a super passivity, so due to that I would eliminate the black player over the white player. So as long as I assume that the purple player likes me more over the white player. During the game the purple player has been guarding against the white player the least, so that's a big red flag to me. Judging by that, to eliminate the white player over the black player would be a safer bet to me in case both of them become as strong as each other and I could afford eliminating one of them. I certainly don't think the purple player would appreciate black over me. I and the purple help each other getting continents, then with the white player he was a good neighboring player, but with the black player I do not think they could have established a strong relationship together. I'm not sure what would it be if they actually did. It looks like with the purple player starting to come closer with his biggest army next to Europe, the white player started to be really concerned about the purple player, because otherwise why would she keep fortifying more troops to Ukraine? I really hope that's the case, because if the white and purple players over-destroy each other, then I basically win with the black player being quite weaker than me. Though now she fortified her army to southern Europe, so maybe that won't be the case. But I mean if she intends to eliminate the black player from the game, then that would certainly be good as well. There's been a lot of time since the last player was eliminated from the game. So if the game finally moves, then that would be very great for sure. Though then I just hope that the purple and white players don't trap me in Australia, well Asia technically speaking for formalities, what I mean with them using the deadliest trap strategy for the Australian player, with one of them having Europe and Africa, and another one both of the Americas and only guarding against me, and then starting smashing some of their troops into me. Though with the black player even though being weak, but not so weak, and with the white player requiring to waste a lot of troops in order to take him out, I don't think the white player would be able to properly participate in this strategy without advantage being given to purple, especially if then I decided to break through white. With the purple player pointing out to my Indian territory and saying that he's sorry but he needs to attack it, I do not get the concrete idea of what's the idea behind that, but I know that I should probably leave it as a one-troop territory. But since the black player has stopped capturing territories, and the white player basically has his army locked, maybe the purple player wants to take over the India and Afghanistan territories and split his troops here. But also he then said to attack his territory back, which I assume is India too. So that could be possible that the purple player wanted that I will put my army to India, and then we would have been trading Siam's territory trading spot, so I just didn't realize that back in the game, or maybe I just didn't want to risk losing Australia. One of those two options, guys. Which do you think it is? Honestly, it would be great if the developers made the communication in the app easier. Right now it's so hard to coordinate attacks and strategic moves properly. You and your ally might have a completely different thing in mind, even though pointing to the same territory or suggesting to attack the same concrete player. After all, I didn't understand what the purple player wanted either himself or me to do with that Indian territory, but I assumed to get some sort of a strategic advantage in an attempt to minimize the white player's one. The black player keeps skipping cards, which I'd say in this situation is a bad move. If the white player's intention is to eliminate the black player, then it will be easier. It will take even fewer troops for the white player to take out black, if the black player keeps skipping cards. And in general, the card skipping strategy is so annoying. Other player could just decide to eliminate you from the game just because they're so annoyed what you're doing nothing while still having a relatively large army to do something, even if that just means capturing a territory in order to get a card. So I wonder how the situation will turn out for the black player. Even if the white player decides to suddenly crush the purple player's biggest army, I would still win over the black player because, with me being quite stronger than him, and besides him not having a continent, he now skips his cards as well, which lets me become even stronger in comparison to him. Also, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I started to feel really threatened by the purple player with his army becoming more and more significantly stronger than mine in comparison. Especially when we stopped communicating with each other. After all, he doesn't do anything with that territory of India basically, so I guess after all I didn't understand what he wanted to do with it. But after all, I'm afraid that he might decide to take me out seeing that the white player's army is blocked. Of course it wouldn't be a great decision, and it would lose the purple player the game. But I learned to know better when it comes to playing in public lobbies. Everything and anything should be expected. No matter how dumb or smart that is. And OMG guys. I cannot believe the white player just crushed the blue bot's biggest army. I just cannot believe it. That is so much damn nice. Well, while at first sight it might not seem as a smart decision, especially taking into account that the blue player had already taken the last available place the moment he went MIA, it might have actually been genius, because who knows, it might encourage the purple player to take me out, or maybe not. Let's not pretend that we're playing with dumb opponents, those are smart players. And even if you see that somebody makes a very extravagant move, there's a reason behind it. You might say that the white player wasted her troops for no reason, but no, the white player is smart. She showed that she's an experienced player throughout the game, and even if we assume that there's no strategic or even diplomatic advantage behind it, at the very least she did that for the sake of progressing the game, and that's really appreciated and admired by me. And oh my goodness, LOL. The white player is a monster. She's a freaking monster. Doesn't stop here and doubles down by eliminating the black player as well. Huge respect for the white player. I sometimes do that as well, taking other players out to end up in a 3-player situation for the sake of stopping the game from being stalemated, even though I know I could then get succeeded on for the second place by one of the players, but I think that's a big honor to actually get a great game and then be very proud of yourself, especially if you win. Right here it might look like the white player captured a territory, like she wouldn't know that you do not have to capture another territory if you already captured one, even if that was after you eliminating another player and trading in the cards, and locked her army. Like it would seem to be a dumb move. But no, I'm pretty sure she did that, so to encourage the purple player to take me out, and then with the purple player needing to go through Afghanistan, he would still unleash the white player's army in Middle East, or even if not, if the purple player would break with his newly gotten troops from the other side after taking me out, the white player would still be in a significant troop advantage over the purple player. The purple player asked me whether I would like or not to team up on the white player by sending me an attack request to attack white, and then thumbs ups and thumbs downs, so to ask yes or no. And I responded with a thumbs up, which is a yes. So he proceeded to crush a bunch of troops into the purple player, so to try making a close two-player endgame between me and him. And right here it seemed close. I really considered eliminating the white player, but that was looking very risky, and I think I would have lost the endgame over the purple player if I had taken out white, but it's really hard to say for me honestly, and actually a lot of times it could come down to the dice luck you get. So in overall, I didn't proceed attacking the white player, which I'm definitely not proud about. I'm not saying that I should have eliminated white, but what I could have done so, is that I should have at the very least smacked some troops into the white player as well. I sent the purple player a thumbs up as yes to agree to team up on the white player, but actually I didn't end up following it. Well, the white player influenced me by a little bit. She told me to attack the purple player, so I thought she might suicide on the purple player or something, but after all she probably only did that, so just to save herself, which in her situation really makes sense. Right here the purple player crushes one of my armies, so one thing is to show that he's not playing around, and another thing is to not let me become too strong. Luckily the purple player wasn't overwhelmed by emotions too much, and still proceeds playing to win instead of smacking my other army. I have to decide what do I want to do now. And I think the dumbest decision would be to retaliate to the purple player. I think that's what the white player is waiting for, and would continue playing neutrally while watching us over-destroy one another. But the purple player has showed me the willingness to team up, so I think I have to attack the white player and try regaining the purple player's trust. He knows how to defeat the turtling meta in a 3-player situation, and it is to team up with somebody on another player in the way that it would be beneficial for both of you to try getting into the 2-player endgame. You could either both of you turn by turn smack some troops into the 3rd layer, or one of you could just immediately smack a larger amount of troops into the 3rd layer like the purple player showcased it, so your ally could immediately go to eliminate that 3rd layer. At the current moment I think it would be beneficial for both of us, me and purple, to get some more troops, so with the purple player taking over North America and Europe, I decided to take over Asia. I broke through the white player's army, so to continue showing for the purple player that I want to be serious about teaming up on the white player. But then I thought, what about if the purple player just immediately takes me out after receiving a bunch of troops? So for that reason I decided to attack North Africa as well and unleash the white player's army, so the purple player wouldn't potentially go to eliminate me, so at the very least for as long as the white player wouldn't block her army again on the purpose. It was her turn, so the final choice had to be made by her on what to do about that. Unfortunately the purple player breaks through me, but since now the white player's army isn't blocked anymore, I think he was afraid that the white player could suicide on him if he breaks through one of her continents. And that's really understandable, I would have been afraid as well. Right here to not escalate things into the unstoppable conflict with the purple player, but to at the same time show him that I wouldn't allow him to break through my continent so easily without him facing any consequences, I broke through one of his borders as well, but not attacking anything more. It looks like he suggests me to team up on the white player, which I responded with thumbs up, so let's see if he proceeds crushing a larger amount of troops into the white player again. And yes, he does. So much damn nice, guys. But honestly again, I think if I take out the white player, it could lead me of potentially losing the game. but I do not want to leave the white player alive, so that she wouldn't suicide into any of us and potentially ruining a hilarious endgame. So risk forever, guys. That's the name of the channel, and let's embrace it. Let's risk it, and potentially have an epic loss, then win in the most boring way possible. I bailed out the last time and I'm not doing that again. It looks like I'm in the disadvantage, but as long as I get good attackers advantage on the purple player's army, I might still be good. So let's see how it goes, and please Goddess Fortuna, the goddess of luck, please help me. Bam. And damn it, such a terrible blitz roll, but with my army being quite smaller I shouldn't have set my expectations too high. I feel like an idiot now eliminating the white player from the game. I felt for the purple player's trap. I told you guys the purple player is smart. But OMG guys. I cannot believe it, I cannot believe it. The purple player doesn't go to break through Australia, so to not only prevent me from getting +2 troops but also not get the attacker's advantage on my 5-troop army. Plus he leaves me at 18 territories, which gives me even +3 extra territorial troops. Unfortunately I got to trade in a 6-troop set, but at this point it doesn't even matter. I'm pretty sure I won the game now. Wow, I didn't see that coming at all. Though I don't know, if the purple player has a set, he might still make a comeback. Let's see. And freaking yes guys, he doesn't have one. Meaning what, no matter what I will receive a lot of territorial troops, and then I'll just be overwhelmed by my advantage, leaving 0% chance for the purple player to win. So as long as I do not disconnect, let's just capture as many territories as possible so to decrease the purple player's territorial troop bonus as much as possible too. Well, to take that 3 versus 1 blitz at the end was completely unnecessary because I had already brought him down below 12 territories, and even if I had captured Europe, it wouldn't have made him any harder to break through fewer continents. So I wasted those troops for a no good reason. Let's see right here if I have enough troops to eliminate the purple player from the game completely in a single turn, but even if I do not, I'd still have no problems finishing the purple player off in the next turn. But wow, such a game guys, and what epic strategies showcased by various players in this game, especially by the purple player in the 3-player situation. I felt for that trap taking out the white player when it would put me in disadvantage in the 2-player situation, and if the purple player would have known how to play the 1v1 endgame better, then he would have definitely won it. But so much damn nice. Now check this video out if you're interested to find out the deadliest trap strategy for the Australian turtle player. That's another very sick strategy,